Welcome to the KeeKee's Big Adventures Family Travel Podcast, here to help inspire and plan your family's next big adventure. KeeKee's Big Adventures all started with the award-winning picture book series starring KeeKee, the globe-trotting cat, exploring the world's diverse places, people, and cultures. I'm Shannon, the author and creator of KeeKee's Big Adventures. Moms and families love the books and asked for help planning their own adventures, so the podcast was created to help. Adventure awaits! Today's episode is going to hopefully blow your mind. I met our guest earlier this year at the Mom 2.0 conference, and she is a Points Strategist and travel advisor. Welcome to the podcast, Kristin.
Thank you. It's so awesome to be chatting with you again.
So we are going to get into some good stuff today. Whether you use points, so credit card points, airline points, whether you have thought about it or whether you just want to explore a little bit more, you are going to love this episode. Every time I talk to Kristin, it's like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Kristin, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. So I am a mom, I'm a business owner and a strategist, which basically just means I love helping people do things better. I work in marketing, partnerships, and travel, and I owe a lot of the joys of my life to being able to travel, particularly on points. So beyond traveling for work, kind of solo on points, I think I can credit my marriage to points. My husband and I started dating long distance, and I had to do some coaxing to get him to open an Amtrak credit card so that we can keep the romance alive until we live together. Yeah, I've never been shy to talk about travel, to tell people how they can travel on points, where they can go. For years, family and friends have reached out, help me with a booking or help me pick a place to go or book a hotel. And now as a travel strategist, I educate people on how they can strategically maximize their spending and their habits to help them earn points to redeem them for nearly free travel. To this day, I still find myself coaxing my husband to open up a new credit card, but with a very visual reminder of how good business class for nearly free can feel.
Yes, especially when you're flying to Europe from the United States. Okay. Point strategist, you told us a little bit about that. How do you help your clients? What do you do?
I have 3 different options that I work with clients. So one is just starting with points consulting and just to teach them how they can strategically leverage their expenses to earn points that they can then redeem for travel. So I walk them through basically a process that works best for them. It's super customized. It's often looking at their travel goals and working backwards from that to see which credit cards are they going to open, how are they going to earn those miles, and teaching them even how to redeem them in their portal. And then I work with clients just specifically on the redemption process because it could be super stressful and you may not know, are you getting the best deal? So I not just do that for our clients, but I teach them how to do it so they're empowered to do it themselves as well. And then I offer like a concierge option if they wanted to just work with me for a full year. Maybe they have a goal, they want to hit 1 million points and go on 3 trips. And I work with them strategically on that.
That's so cool. And the thing about it is, and I love the way you talked about it, it's like a master's degree.
Yeah.
Because it really is. I mean, I'm subscribed to different newsletters and I've got this card and I've got this many points on this airline. There's so much information out there.
There's so much awesome information out there, but it can be overwhelming to sort through it and decide what is most relevant for you. Because everyone does something differently. Some people are just focused on the business class. Some people are doing family trips. Just last week, I helped a family book a 4-day trip for 4 to Orlando for $46. So there's lots of different things that you can find, but it could be overwhelming to sort through all the information. So I stay on top of that and give my clients just what they want and need to know based on their kind of preferences.
That's cool. So you're actually like monitoring all of those things, thinking about the best deals. And I think it's really cool if I think about it as have a travel goal. Like next summer, I want to take the family to Greece. Then that helps you to work with them.
Absolutely. We'll look at all the airlines that travel from their location to Greece. And I get super creative working with different partner airlines that you can book different flights on. And then we work back to the credit card that will get there, or maybe you and a partner can both open cards strategically. And then we'll even look at the bonus time period of how long you have to earn that bonus. Can it be possible? Will you get it in time to book the flight, to redeem it? Yeah, we'll work through the whole process, even hotels, which there are some awesome options in Greece to book on points as well.
That's so cool. I remember when we met, we were talking about this credit card company has this kind of bonus offer right now. And I'm like, well, I already have the card. And you're like, yeah, but you could do this and that and then get the 100,000 points. And I'm like, I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Downgrading to another card in the family and then getting the sign-on bonus if you haven't done it within a certain period of time, which we would look at. When did you open the card to make sure you qualify? And maybe someone that you know is going to refer you, so they'll get the bonus points. We'll look at every single option to really maximize that earning if that's the card that you want.
I think another maybe myth as I think about it is I have to be a big traveler to have points, or I can't do anything with points unless I have hundreds of thousands. Neither one of those scenarios is true.
That's a really great point. Just this year, I earned over 112,000 points on American Airlines, and I haven't flown them yet. So that was through strategically opening a card that I got a kind of a targeted welcome bonus offer for, and then shopping through the portal. And even just last week, I donated to cancer.org and got 2,500 points. It was a multiplier for my donation. So there are so many different ways that you can earn points without ever getting in the air.
Maybe run through some top tips that you share with them.
Perfect. First, to make sure you're in good financial standing before you even enter this world, you want to make sure you're not in debt. You're in a good place to start opening up credit cards because we're going to do that strategically. We're going to look at your spending habits. So if you don't get a chance to talk to me, look at cards that earn the best point value on the categories you spend the most on. A lot of people, that's grocery stores and dining out if they aren't traveling everywhere. So maybe you're opening up a more general card that will have higher points for that type of expense versus opening up an airline credit card that just allows you to earn those specific miles for that card.
That's a really good point. I was just thinking about that's where our biggest expenses are in groceries and dining. And maybe I should rethink my card strategy.
Another one that's easy for everyone to do and simple, doesn't cost any money, is looking in your credit card portal and enabling some of the offers that are there or shopping through an airline or a credit card portal. Almost all of them have it, and some of them work in partnership with other shopping portals. But that's when you're really going to get the multipliers on your purchases. So back to school clothes shopping, I was shopping strategically through portals to earn multipliers on anything I bought. And you can turn them into cash back or you can turn them into points for travel. Another tip is to think with the end in mind. So to think about where are you going and think about what do you need to do to get there? Which cards do you need to open? Which airlines are you going to be looking at? Which hotels will you be staying in? And then identify the right card or family of cards that you need to open and how many points you need to earn in order to get you that kind of cost savings that you're looking for.
One of the things I love also is that you're a point strategist and a travel advisor. So you're coming at it from both angles to help people plan their travel. So that's a neat combination.
Yes, thank you. I've traveled to over 40 countries and many of them multiple times. So a lot of it's from my own experience or my customers' experience that I'm giving. And whenever we can't get the trip on points, I get discounted rates on hotels. So sometimes with clients, we'll almost start with building that dream itinerary as if they were going to pay for it. And then if it's not within the budget, mapping it over to the points option. I think it's very important to be kind to yourself in this process. So if you're just starting to dabble, you'll find you're going to make a lot of mistakes and that just means you're learning, and just be kind because you won't repeat those mistakes. You're going to keep learning more and more. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. So just continue to be kind to yourself and just realize every offer you take advantage of or trip you book, you're saving your family and yourself money and getting a great experience out of it.
Yeah. This year, I booked 2 round trip tickets with just 35,000 points. One was round trip to DC, and this other one is to Turks and Caicos. 35,000, you do a sign up for a card, and you usually get more than that.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's one card, and you can probably even get a hotel or two with that as well.
Those are really great tips. So maybe let's give the listeners some more concrete details of those examples to help paint a picture for them.
Sure. I always found that hearing exact examples really helped me be able to visualize what could be done. So I'm happy to share just the bookings I did last week. So one customer is a longtime friend and apprehensive about points, mostly because her credit wasn't yet in the best place. So turns out it was in a great place with that sign-on bonus, that 100K for only a $95 annual fee card. And it was a general card with a lot of transfer partners. So last week, I spent time going through her credit card portal and showing her where all the offers are that are available to her and how to actually transfer points out. Because it's not always easy to find. So I like to walk customers through that so they feel comfortable in knowing this is an option, it's here. And when you go into that, you'll often be able to see the bonus transfer options. So say you transfer 1,000 points. Maybe when it lands into that partner's loyalty program, you get 1,200 points. So there's a lot of options like that that I would show people how to see. And my customers, I'm always telling them what the latest bonus point transfers are so they know without having to look. And then we walk through transferring them from her account to the account that they were going to make the booking. And sometimes it could be complicated because if you're booking that hotel on someone else's account, you have to fill out a form and get those points to transfer. And sometimes it could just be quick and easy. So we talk through different hotel loyalty programs. I have a favorite. I'm a Hyatt girl, and I love their redemption rate. I love the quality they provide. And she was looking for specific rooms for her family of 4. Always awesome options like that in Orlando. So she's getting 4 nights plus her airfare for her family. I think came to $44.80 at the end of it. So she now has a lot more money to spend on those park tickets, which are hard to do on points, not impossible. Different parks offer some opportunities through portals that you can reimburse yourself after with points if you pay for them. So she's hooked now. This is her future of travel.
It's amazing. It's $44, family of 4, 4 nights.
She still had about 20,000 points left at the end of it. I think she had some Hyatt points that she was able to use from a recent work trip.
Okay.
That subsidized that a little bit.
That's so cool. And then there was another example you talked about, like a client who was going to Europe.
I had a new client. She was referred to me after booking someone else's trip. That's usually how my customers come, just through word of mouth. And she didn't really know much about how I book travel on points. And she was like, we want to pay for this trip because we're trying to earn points for another trip. And I said, just tell me what that trip is so I can also look to see if earning these points here will be able to relate and transfer to that other trip. So while I was looking to build her dream itinerary of France and Spain, I was simultaneously looking at the hotels that she wanted to go and stay, the flight she wanted to take for both using cash or points. So I built her a dream itinerary that she was satisfied with, but when we got to the price tag, $8,000 was a bit too much for her to instantly book. And it's in October, so that's only a month and a half away.
Right.
And she was like, I just can't do this. Can we look at those other options that you explored? And I'm like, absolutely. Opened up the other tab on the call, showed her what I had going. Granted, at that point, we were booking an economy versus the premium economy that she wanted to pay for. But her and her partner could not believe how they were only going to pay $30 in processing fees for a round trip ticket to Europe. They had enough points. We got creative with using his account and her account to transfer them. Like I said, different airlines have different opportunities. And then they had some money left to go a little bigger on the hotel, that boutique hotel that they wanted to stay in and upgrade a bit. So I was able to use my travel advisor opportunity, and each hotel that I looked at versus when she found it, I was saving her $100 to $200 on that stay as well through the travel advisor tools. So she ended up, I think it was around $1,500 that she spent on that vacation when it would have been over $8,000. So pretty remarkable. I think a very happy customer. And yeah, I'm hoping to work with more clients like this who get their feet wet in earning and spending points and realizing what they could do.
Right.
Because the less you pay to travel, the more you get to travel.
Yeah, I love that philosophy.
There's some key takeaways that people could just start doing at home, even if we don't get the chance to connect. If you're ready to get into the points world, you're in good credit, I would look at leveraging welcome bonuses of credit cards. It's always great to think about where you want to go and working back to open that right card. But sometimes there's such a good deal out there with a card and with a welcome bonus that it's worth taking. You just need to be mindful as you go through this process. And this is why I help people strategize, is you have to be mindful about the number of cards you open within a certain period. One, you want to be careful of your credit, and you also want to make sure you don't hit the max for that bank. So American Express, they say they'll lock you out, or Chase, they have this 524 rule where you can't open 5 cards in a 24-month period. So always keeping track of which cards you're opening, what their welcome bonuses are, how much you have to earn within a certain period of time so you don't miss that bonus and make that mistake, and obviously using them in the correct way. So some people just know about paying for purchases through their travel portal. There's a lot of debate in this industry about it's a good or bad use of points. I like to do the math. I like to crunch the numbers and say, okay, how much am I going to be spending if I buy this with points versus look at all the possible airlines and options that I could take to transfer those points out. I've always seen a better rate of redemption when I transfer things out, but there have been clients who just didn't have enough points, couldn't buy enough points, and they ended up booking through the portal, paying for cash, redeeming themselves for points because they got to earn the extra points by maybe that 5 times a point purchase in the portal.
I think that's really key because you got to just look at the options. I knew I wanted to buy this ticket. I know I have points on Chase. I know I have points on American. I went into the Chase portal and said, okay, could I use those points? Yes, I could, but it was going to be a lot of points versus comparing what if I paid out of my pocket and then what if I did on American. It made super smart sense to just do it through American, and it was only 20,000 points.
Yes, it's definitely about the welcome bonuses and making sure you're choosing the right one at the right time and making sure you're hitting that. But like you were talking through with booking the points, that is a whole, like you said, like a whole course in itself of which airlines you could transfer your points to then purchase that. Maybe it's a partner airline. Sometimes we just think I have to transfer to American because that's the flight I found. But there are partners that sometimes you can get a better deal on, or maybe that partner airline charges less for taxes and fees, and your goal is to really spend less money, so we're booking on them. So I'm often looking at these kind of co-shared options. There's this Fifth Freedom flight, whole world of booking.
So many tips. See, I mean, I could have probably.
It's another episode. It's about creating the custom kind of experience and need, because you can lose yourself in the search.
So 2 things. What are some of the resources that you would suggest that if people are interested in this world, they read or listen to or check out?
Sure. It depends on what's your best way of taking in information. There's a lot of podcasts out there, and then there's a lot of apps and websites. There are podcasts for people who just want to travel on business, Point Me to First Class. There's a lot of apps out there like Award Wallet or other apps where you can actually put in your cards and your points so that you can keep track of them, which is super helpful. Card pointers. There is a lot of resources on searching for flights. So there's point.me, seats.arrow. Some of them are free. Some of them have this like freemium kind of version. But in the end, I always end up searching the different airlines, doing a much more in-depth, robust search because those search engines are using cached searches. So not everything is going to yield, but it's a great place to get started.
Interesting. Let's talk about if someone does want to work with you, if the listeners want to reach out, tell us a little bit about how that works so that someone gets an idea of what it might cost them to work with you.
Sure. So my website is abaquatravel.com, and I could spell that for you after. But I have 3 different services that you can look at. One of them is just an hour of personalized points coaching. So I have a form on the site that you can fill out prior to our meeting where I ask you your dreams and your desires. And you just tell me about your spending habits, about where you want to go, and maybe what cards you already have open, which loyalty programs you're a part of, so that I have a lot of information before we meet so I can get up to speed on how I can actually advise you. And then we would have a 1-hour call together. We will look in your current portals so that I make sure you're familiar with what you have. I would teach you about which airlines can help get you to your destination and also advise you on which cards are looking like the best to open for you. If there's any welcome offers, I'll be talking with you about that. I'll share all of my travel resources with you so you can either choose to explore them or just wait for the follow-up emails from me that kind of give you that custom coaching. So you're paying for this 1-hour session, but you're getting a lot of pre-work and post-work from me. I also do this travel booking. So like my last client, if you already know where you want to go, you have some points. A lot of travel advisors won't work with you if you want to book your travel on points. That's up to you. First, we look at maximizing those points that you have and then subsidizing that with other options. So I can really straddle both worlds where I'm your travel advisor as well as your kind of point strategist. And then if you're like, hey, this is great, I want to keep working with you, I want to get those 1,000,000 points this year, I can do a 1-year concierge custom coaching and trip planning where you can plan maybe up to 4 trips with me on points. And we'll just work on building you and maybe your family's kind of point value. And for your listeners, I'd love to offer $50 off any of those services. Instead of $150 for that initial points coaching call, it would just be $100. If you just mention KeeKee's Big Adventures when you contact me, we'll arrange that discount.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. That's a great incentive for the listeners. And it is a wild world of points, and there's so much to know, but I love the way that this can help people. And I love your mantra around explore more for less, allowing families to get out there and really cash in, if you will, on everyday spending. It doesn't have to be that you're traveling and getting points on an airline and then I'm cashing those in. It's everyday spending and really utilizing that to fuel your family vacation adventures.
That's so true. And most families save thousands just from one phone conversation with me on booking their trips. And then we're already talking about the next trip because they've saved so much money.
Tell us again, where can listeners find you?
So right now I'm at Abequa, ABEQUA travel.com. And you could fill out a contact form on there and reach me directly.
Kristin, thank you so much for joining us and sharing so many incredible ideas and details. Listeners, definitely reach out. We'll have her website in the podcast description. The notes will be on our website. I really appreciate it. And we'll have to have you back and have a 2.0 session.
That sounds awesome. I'd love that. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on the KeeKee's Big Adventures Family Travel Podcast. Visit the episode webpage for all the details from today and lots more travel planning resources. We look forward to traveling with you on the next episode. Adventure awaits!